What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday, and today's video is gonna be a fun one. I feel like this year Peloton is really bringing the Halloween content. There's so many classes that look so interesting, and I figured it'd be fun to make a video, take a bunch of the Halloween classes, and give my thoughts. I do feel like instructors go out every single year and, have really fun costumes, have fun classes. But this year, specifically, the Rebecca Kennedy and Andy Spear 2-for-1 strength Halloween class really caught my eye. So then I started looking into it and I'm like, wow, there's actually a lot of other classes that look really fun to take. So it is the Saturday before Halloween, and I figured this week I would get in the Halloween spirit by just taking as many Peloton Halloween classes as possible. Sadly, I don't have a bike or a rower accessible to me, but I'll pretty much be taking all the other disciplines. And this morning we are kicking it off with a bang. I'm going to be doing a live class, which I have not done a live class in a very long time, but I just can't wait another day. I need to get in the Halloween spirit. So we're going to be taking the 45-minute Halloween run by Bex Gentry from October 26th, 2024 today. It is live at 10 a.m. Eastern, so it's 9:45 now. I need to wrap this up and get down to the gym so I can join this in time. But I absolutely love Bex. I'm excited to see what she dresses up as, and I think it should be a good run, but also a hard run. I don't know if I've ever taken an easy Bex class in my life. So yeah, I still expect to work during this one. And then as long as Bex doesn't completely drain me of energy, I'm gonna wrap up the workout with a 10-minute Halloween arms and lights weight class by Sam Yo, also from October 26, 2024. I will say this one dropped on demand, and I do have a very soft spot for Sam Yo, and I do like the arms and light weights classes. But he is not dressed up well. He's just in a tank top with a pumpkin carving on it, which, okay, but I could see a little more effort. But I'm guessing this is probably not his main Halloween class because it's only 10 minutes. But I figured that'd be a nice little burnout at the end if I'm not, tired enough already from Bex class. So that is what's on the agenda today. Let's go to the gym, hit the tread, knock out these Halloween classes. I took that Bex Gentry class, so you don't have to. I honestly feel like that was the worst Peloton class I've ever taken. I know I've taken some questionable classes in the past, but oh my gosh, was this one just so grating. I really did not know if I was gonna make it through it. Honestly, if I wasn't making this video, I definitely would have quit, but I feel like since I'm gonna make the video, I'm like, I might as well take the whole class. But I did have to turn up the music and turn down the instructor. Unfortunately, on my iPad, I couldn't turn her completely off because man, oh man. Basically, the premise of this class is that she is a creepy, scary toddler. So that's what she's dressed up as, which when she first came on screen, I'm like, what are you? And then yeah, she's like, I'm a creepy toddler. And I'm like, okay, weird, but whatever. But then she acted like a toddler the entire class. I feel like Bex already kind of has a high-pitched voice, but she was definitely doing a baby toddler voice too for the entire class. It'd be one thing if this was a 10 or 15-minute class, or if she just did the toddler bit for 5 minutes, but she committed to the toddler bit. So just to start off, it was annoying to listen to, and then what she was saying was also annoying because she really committed to being a toddler. So let's see. First, she talked about always being hungry and thirsty and wanting a juice box and stuff like that, and that she's in a good mood now and she could throw a tantrum though. And I was really worried that there was going to be a tantrum at the end, but thankfully there was not. So that was annoying. And then Her other bits included like not knowing how to count. So yeah, she just constantly was like, I don't know how to count. And then yeah, any number that was over like 10, she would be like 10 or 20 to communicate like 20 seconds left. She also referenced mommy probably 5 times a minute. Like she's like, mommy says this, mommy says that. I don't know if like mommy was supposed to be her, but yeah, she'd be like, oh, mommy says to like keep your shoulders down like this. I don't know. It was just so weird. And then the final bit was like whenever we did sprints, she'd be like, chase me, like mommy can't catch me, like you can't catch me, you're so old, you're so slow. And she repeated that bit a lot too. And it's like, do I really want to listen to this adult who's pretending to be a toddler tell me that I'm old and slow? Like, I don't know. I just feel like this class like really missed the mark for me. And I'm honestly surprised that Bex thought this was a good idea. And then I'm also surprised that, you know, they have a producer, right? That the producer was like, yeah, because man, oh man, I like feel bad for the people in the studio. I mean, maybe they thought differently than me, but that was just like horrible. And it was so grating to listen to. Like, I just don't know. That class was not for me. And yeah, the music was also just like fine. It was mostly instrumental Halloween music, which is kind of what I expected from Bex, because I feel like she like wouldn't just play like the Monster Mash, but that's kind of what I was hoping for. So yeah, just overall like -100 out of 10 for enjoyability. Highly would not recommend this class. The class plan itself, difficulty, I would give like 7.5 out of 10. I will say sometimes it was hard to understand the class plan because first off, since it's a live class, there's no like live metrics. And then second off, she's talking like a baby. So sometimes it was hard to understand what we were supposed to be doing. And like, yeah, I just feel like usually Bex is very organized. Like she'll be like, you know, we're doing a 5-minute progression run and we'll add like 5 times or whatever. But since she was like a toddler, she didn't really give us a lot of foresight. Like sometimes she would tell us how long the effort was going to be. But yeah, usually not as much information as she usually gives. But there was typically walking recovery in between like the efforts. I would say most efforts lasted more than a song. So probably like walking recovery every 5 minutes. So yeah, it wasn't like really hard. Although the first song after our warm up, we did run up a hill at 8%. So, you know, definitely some pushes in there. Like it was a good workout, but the like content of the class, I just could not do. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if you like this one, but this one was definitely not for me. And I'm really surprised because usually Bex like really hits the mark for me. And then after that disaster of the class, I was like, oh my gosh, we need to take Samuel's class to raise my spirits. And Samuel really did raise the spirits. He played Monster Mash, he played Ghostbusters. Like, I feel like that's the kind of Halloween music I like, just like very commercialized, poppy Halloween music. And yeah, the arms class wasn't anything like crazy, but it was good. Pretty much every minute we just did a new move, and I feel like he balanced it well, so there wasn't like crazy burnout at the end. Like, it's not like, you know, we just worked shoulders for 5 minutes straight. We would do like a shoulder move and then we do some like bicep curls, then some tricep kickbacks. Like, I feel like it was balanced well. The vibes were good. He could have a little work on his costume, but after Beck's class, this class, 10 out of 10. Enjoyability, 10 out of 10. Difficulty, I'd give like a 7 out of 10. I mean, those classes do work the arms. Definitely felt like a little burn towards the end. I was using 5-pound weights, so that's definitely like the highest amount of weight I could use for a class like this. But yeah, that was a nice little finisher after my 45 minutes of unhappiness. So today was definitely a mixed bag, but I would say pretty confidently it can only go up from here. We will have to see how the rest of the week goes with these Halloween classes. It is now 2 days later. It's Monday morning. We had a full rest day yesterday. So I am excited to get back on into these Halloween classes, and we're kicking it off with a bang this Monday morning with my highest anticipated Halloween class, which is the 60-minute Halloween full body strength class by Andy Spears and Rebecca Kennedy from October 27th, 2024. I am so excited. I just feel like I love them as a couple. I'm excited to see their 2-for-1. I just think it should be a really fun time while also being a good workout. Like Andy and Rebecca have never not brought it for me. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I think this will be a really, really fun class, but we're still definitely going to get the work in. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, and do 60 minutes of strength training because this is not something I do often. I have many thoughts about this class, but overall I liked it. Andy and Rebecca dressed up as newscasters from like some old time like morning show. I didn't know the reference, but I don't think that I am like the intended audience for that costume. But I think the costume like was a good idea, or they like really played into it, because then basically the whole time they like told us news, which for the most part I thought was funny. Like they would talk about like things that other instructors say, or like, oh, like breaking news, like, you know, Starbucks is out of like pumpkin spice latte. Here's what Callie Gullickson said. Here's what Ali Love said. Stuff like that. So I feel like I'm assuming they like actually got the comments from the other instructors. And yeah, I thought it was like pretty funny. And especially if you like are really into Peloton. And I feel like if you're taking this class, you're probably really into Peloton, that you would enjoy like all the other instructor references. So I feel like that was a good costume. And then I like that they played into it and it was entertaining. On the flip side of that, I do think that sometimes they like played into it too much and we were missing cues and having really long recovery. Like between sets, we pretty much always had at least 2 minutes of recovery, which I think is a little high. And it was because they would like talk about news when they should have really been talking about the next set. And then like, I mean, I guess it was planned, but then they would have to like then talk about the next step. We would get a lot of recovery. So I wish it was a little like faster moving and a little more on top of things. Like they missed quite a few cues, but overall, like it is a Halloween class, so I'm not expecting the hardest thing in the world. I also think they did try to make it a little bit easier because 60 minutes of strength is hard, and obviously they want as many people as possible to be able to take this class. So this is definitely easier than like a 60-minute total strength class with Andy, for example. But I also kept that it was 60 minutes in mind when picking my weights, so that also played into it. The warm-up was only 6 minutes, but honestly, I would count the first like 15 minutes to be warm-up because it was all body weight. Yeah, completely body weight warm-up, which I was totally fine with. But then after that, we did like marches and skips and some balance work. I will say the balance work was very hard. I don't know if it was the shoes that I was wearing, but you had to like do airplanes where you had one foot back and then you're like leaning forward and then you had to turn to the side. And man, oh man, I was really struggling with that this morning, but we did get through it. And then after that, we went into our first set. Andy and Rebecca said to grab heavy and medium weights. And I think for the weight ranges, they said 20 to 40 for heavy and like 10 to 20 for medium maybe. And I grabbed 15 and 20. They named off a couple exercises, which is always nice. She was like RDLs, rows, squats for the heavy, and then like, yeah, arm work for the mediums. And I wasn't sure if 15 would be too heavy just because I knew it was a 60-minute class, but it was actually fine. I actually think I probably could have pushed to 25 pounds on the heavyweights, but I really like wasn't sure what the format of the class was going to be like, and 25 is quite heavy for me for squats. So yeah, I feel like overall my weight choice was okay. I could have grabbed 25 as well and had 15, 20, 25 to maybe get a little more out of it. But I also didn't want to go super hard out of the gate because it was a 60-minute class. So the first section was a 12-minute EMOM where we did 3 moves and we did it 4 times. So like each minute was a different move. It was 12 RDLs, then 12 bent over rows and 12 push-ups. So we actually got a decent amount of recovery in this, especially because I was using 20 pounds. This was kind of light for the RDLs. And I got probably close to 30 seconds of recovery on every single movement because I feel like 12 for 1 minute isn't that much. I did do the push-ups off my knees. They said you could do them on your knees, but I was like, you know what? I have a full minute to do the 12 push-ups. I will do them. And yeah, I think overall, like That was a fine EMOM, nothing crazy, nothing super hard, but yeah, it was fine. It did the job. Then we got into split squats. So we did a split squat on one side for 40 seconds, 10 seconds rest, split squat on the other side, 40 seconds, 30 seconds of rest. And we did that 3 times. Rebecca said to keep using your heavy weights. And I was actually thinking when they were describing it to go down to my mediums, but I'm glad that she said that and I pushed myself and I used 20 pounds for this. This was definitely one of the hardest sets for me in this class, but I was proud of myself for using the 20 pounds. Split squats are not my favorite, but work, it needs to be done. Then the next set was the same structure in time, 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off. But we were doing overhead presses on one side on our knees. So you'd have one knee forward and then in the other arm, you would be doing the overhead presses. This is where we went down to our medium weights. And yeah, I thought that was a completely fine set. We did that 3 times. Then we basically had another 12-minute EMOM, but it was 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, but structured very similarly to the leg one where it was 3 rounds and we had 4 moves. So we did bicep curls the first minute, skull crushers the second minute, butterfly sit-ups the third minute, and hollow body hold the 4th minute. And we did that 3 times. Man, oh man, the hollow body hold is so hard for me. I don't know why, because sit-ups are so easy, but I think I just have very bad lower core strength, which means we need to work on it. But yeah, that was probably the hardest move after the split squats for me. And I used my medium weight, so 15 pounds for the bicep curls and the skull crushers. And then after that, we're pretty much at the end of the class already. We had a 3-minute AMRAP finisher that was all body weight, 6 body weight squats, 6 reverse lunges, and then 6 standing bicycle crunches. Just repeat until you are done. I thought that this was just an okay burnout, honestly. It wasn't anything crazy because it was body weight. And then the class was over. I feel with 60 minutes, I do appreciate that we do the longer sets. I like the 12-minute EMOMs and repeating the rounds a lot rather than doing a bunch of random stuff. But that is what I would expect from Rebecca and Andy. That's clearly their teaching style. So I'm happy that although they definitely made this a little bit easier than one of their classes, in my opinion, they didn't changed their teaching style and it was still true to them. And yeah, they were obviously in a good mood the whole time. It was funny because Andy was in a suit and you could tell that, I don't know if they didn't practice, but he cannot work out in a suit, right? It's very hard. So he ended up taking off the jacket, which was funny. Rebecca was in a dress. Yeah, they were definitely very, very committed to the Halloween aspect. And yeah, I think it was overall a very fun class. Enjoyability, I would give it an 8 out of 10. To make it a 10 out of 10 for me, I would have had less miscues and less recovery. I feel I could have had it a little bit harder. For me, that's a little more enjoyable, but I also could have tried to push myself a little bit more, I guess, so it's not completely on them. Difficulty, I would honestly give it a 5 out of 10. I did not think it was that difficult, but I do think that they are trying to widen their appeal, especially for a Halloween class. So overall, a fun class. And honestly, I always want a more difficult class and feel I got a super good workout. But 60 minutes of strength is an accomplishment in itself. And I feel I should make a full recovery today to be ready for more Halloween classes tomorrow. It is the next day, and I will say Rebecca and Andy made me eat my words. I was a little bit sore this morning when I woke up. Nothing too bad, nothing crazy, but I really didn't think I was going to be sore at all. So, they got me. It was a good workout, but I'm feeling good now. And today we're going to be doing 2 classes. The first is a yoga class. And I thought this was actually kind of weird. Basically, Aditi Shah released 2 Halloween yoga classes. One is just a flow, and then the other one is a focus flow lower body. She's in the same costume. They released on the same day. And when I looked at the music, the vibes looked very, very similar. She didn't play any Halloween music per se. It was kind of spooky music. She plays Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo. I think she plays some Billie Eilish music. Kind of that vibe, which I love that vibe, but I am kind of curious why they decided to make 2 classes that look basically the same. And I didn't know how to choose, so I just chose the 30-minute Halloween focus flow lower body by Aditi Shah from October 26, 2024, because I figured I do a lot of running and lower body work, so I think a focus flow could help me. And I like Aditi, and her costume looks cool. I think she's just like a skeleton, but we will see when we get into the class. So let's hit the mat up here and knock out this yoga class. I enjoyed that yoga class, but it was very like not Halloween-y at all in my opinion, which was fine. Like I don't need the instructors to commit to everything, but basically the only thing is that she was in this skeleton costume, which it was a cute costume, but besides that, it was just a very, very typical yoga class. So if you just want minimal Halloween vibes, I would recommend this class. The yoga class itself was really good, but it was just, again, a typical lower body focus flow. We did a lot of stretching, which was good. My legs were definitely very, very tight. We had our sun salves, and then we had, our typical yoga flow. We got warrior one. We had our triangle pose. And then, at the end, we did some stretching, some pigeon pose, and then the class was over. I enjoyed the music. It was all like, vampy female music. So it was good. But again, like not necessarily music I think of when I think of Halloween, but honestly, like no complaints. I did like the music, and I do enjoy Aditi as a yoga instructor. She's definitely one of my favorite yoga instructors. So the class was good. It just was not super Halloween vibes. Enjoyability, I would give like a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it is enjoyable to stretch out, but man, oh man, was I tight. So, that's not really a her thing. That's more of a me thing. But wow, I need to be working yoga into my routine more often. I was doing a really good job for a while where I was doing it like 1 to 2 times a week, and I've kind of fallen off of that, but I'm trying to get back on the horse. So this was a good class to take. Difficulty, I would give like a 5.5 to 6 out of 10. I didn't think any of the moves are like very crazy. We didn't do any crazy balance work. Aditi always offered like modifications if you needed like a block or anything. She encouraged it. So it definitely wasn't a difficult course. It was pretty slow moving as well, but it was a good class and effective at what it was supposed to do. I could definitely feel the focus in the legs. So that was a good way to kick off this morning. And now we're gonna go to the gym to do the second class, which is a 30-minute Halloween run by Jess King from October 27th, 2024. It looks like Jess is dressed up as a superhero of some sort. And I'm excited to take a run with Jess. I really like her, and I think it should be a fun class. So let's go to the gym, hit the tread, and knock out this Halloween run. That was by far my favorite Halloween class that I've taken in this video. It was just a really, really good class in general. I would highly recommend it even if you're not into Halloween. So basically the premise is Jess is a superhero, and then all the music is like, hero, power, kryptonite, like stuff like that. So I feel like that was like a fun theme to have where you weren't listening to Halloween music, but it was still like on a theme. And then, I just feel like Jess was super positive and uplifting during it. I personally have not taken a ton of classes with Jess recently, but I have read online that she's like talked about kind of the struggles of being a new mom and how they have 2 kids and like it's just a lot. And I feel like in this class, she was like very uplifting and positive about it. And she's like, having a kid is a superpower in itself. And I completely agree. I just feel like it was, like a really, really fun class. The music was so good. And then I just really liked her messaging during it. So really like 10 out of 10. The only thing is at the beginning, it was kind of a slow warm up. Like we did a lot of walking and then a lot of jogging. And I thought that then the class might be like really easy, because some instructors do make their theme classes like really, really easy. So it's more accessible. But then no, we like picked it up. We definitely worked. We did a little bit of incline work. We did some speed pushes. Like I thought it was a good run. There were a couple bouts of recovery where you could walk or jog, but I did not feel like it was an easy class, but it also at the same time wasn't a hard class. Like you could take the recovery, you could take the slower jogs. It's really what you make out of it. So enjoyability, honestly, like I usually don't give 10 out of 10, so maybe 9.5 out of 10. I could have done like a little less warm up at the beginning, but really that's my only critique. Difficulty, I would give a solid like 7.5 out of 10. Again, it's kind of like what you make of it if you want to make it more difficult or less difficult, but I would highly, highly recommend this class. It was just such a fun one, so uplifting, and now I'm in like such a good mood. It is now 2 days later. It is Halloween today, so we're gonna be wrapping up this video today with 2 very fun classes. I'm looking forward to both of them. The first one is a 30-minute Halloween glutes and legs strength class by Logan Aldridge, tagged intermediate, from October 27th, 2024. He's dressed as a pirate and it looks like a pretty good costume to me. I love Logan. I'm very excited. He always brings the best music, the best vibes. It should be a good class. And then we're gonna wrap it up by hopping on the tread for the 30-minute Halloween walk and run class by John Hosking from October 26, 2024. He looks like another superhero, so he will have to rival Jess King's class, which is the favorite right now. But I love John, and I've also seen good things about this online. My only concern is my legs might be a little dead from the glutes and legs strength class, but I think we'll be okay. It's just a walk and run. So let's go to the gym and knock out these final 2 Halloween classes. Logan was not playing around in today's class. Wow, oh wow, it was good. I liked it. It was definitely a push. It was not easy just because it was a Halloween class, but honestly for me, I feel like that is the best. Like I love a good theme, but I also love working hard. So we started off and I just knew it was gonna be hard immediately because Logan is like, grab heavy weights, 30 pounds to 50 pounds. And he's like, think deadlifts, think squats, think goblet squats. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab 30 pounds. 30 pounds is like, you know, a pretty solid deadlift weight for me. And then I'm gonna hope that all the other moves are just one dumbbell, which was pretty much true. So then I was fine, but it was still like a huge push, but it was a really good push. And the vibes were really good. Logan was in his pirate costume, which was great. And he played like some Halloween music. So like Ghostbusters, This Is Halloween. And then he also played some more like kind of pop Halloween music, like I Put a Spell on You. So I feel like the playlist was great. It was all like really amped up music, super fun. He was in a great mood. And the class plan was also great. We started off with a 4-minute bodyweight warm up, which was good. You know, gotta stretch everything out before we're doing these heavy weights. Then we got into a 12-minute set. I do love a long set where we did 3 moves, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 4 times. And the moves were goblet squat with 1 weight, RDLs with both weights, and then a hip bridge with 1 weight. RDLs are my favorite leg movement, and hip bridges are probably my second favorite leg movement. So this was just like an amazing set for me. You know, I'm not huge into squats, but I do know we need to do them. So like, I just feel like this was great. You know, 1 move that's not my favorite and then 2 moves I really like. And that 12 minutes really passed by quick. Then we got into a little lunge set, which we only did 2 times. It was 30 seconds curtsy lunge on one side, 30 seconds curtsy lunge on the other side, and then either front lunges or like walking lunges, which I did the walking lunges, and honestly, those felt easier than front lunges to me. So that was interesting. And we got 15 seconds rest in between each move and then 30 seconds rest before we repeated it. And this whole time we just did it with 1 weight, thankfully, because 30 pounds is like a good weight. 60 pounds would have been impossible for me. And then we kind of had our finisher set, which was 30 seconds squat jumps, body weight, 20 seconds rest, 30 seconds dumbbell squat. And he did say to rack both weights. And I said, I'm sorry, Logan, my legs are already dead. I cannot do a 60-pound dumbbell squat right now. So I just did 1 weight, rack the 30 pound for 30 seconds, 20 seconds rest, and then 30 seconds of high plank where we were lifting up 1 foot behind us, like raising it. that was interesting. That's not like a move that I do super frequently. I don't feel like I felt it that much, like maybe a little bit in the glute, but nothing too crazy. And then 20 seconds rest, and we did that set again. And then we finished off with 1 minute body weight squats, where he did warn us at the beginning of like the entire finisher that we were finishing off with 1 minute of as many body weight squats as you could possibly do. I feel like at that point, I really needed the body weight. Like, I'm glad that it was structured really well, where we did kind of the most amount of weight at the beginning of class and then had more body weight towards the end of class, thankfully. So I could like do body weight squats the whole final minute, but they were not that fast. But I did them and I don't feel like I stopped at all. I will say my jump squats were looking a little funky. I did do jump squats. Usually I don't, but I was like, you know what, we're getting recovery. I can do it. I can do it for Logan. The vibes are too good. But I definitely had to take like a couple seconds of rest here and there, even during the 30 seconds of jump squats. Jump squats just really, really get me. But then the class was over and my legs were so dead. Honestly, if I was not making this video, I probably would have skipped the walk and run. But I was like, you know what? It's Halloween. We need to wrap it up. And thankfully it was a walk and run. If it was just a run, I don't think I would have been able to do it. Like the glutes and leg strength, if you're looking for 30 minutes of intense work, I really think you should check out that class. Enjoyability, I would give like a 9 out of 10. Very, very enjoyable. I love kind of lifting heavy, but then also like going down to the one weight for some of the other moves. And yeah, just Logan was in a great mood. It was such a good vibe, such a fun class, but also like you're going to work your butt off. Literally, like I really do feel it in the glutes. Difficulty, I would also give like a 9 out of 10. Logan is not playing around. When he came out and was like, grab 30 pounds or up, I was like, this is not going to be an easy class. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that one. It even might take the cake for best Halloween class. I'm not sure. The Jess King one was also very good. So then we hopped on the tread to do the 30-minute walk plus run, which I thought this class was all right, like nothing super special. John was a superhero, and I was kind of confused because there was a studio audience and he kind of referenced that maybe someone or maybe everyone was dressed up as John Hosking, like in the audience, but they never showed the audience, so it was like hard to tell. And he referenced it a couple times and I was just like confused. The music was definitely styled similar to Jess's playlist, where it was like, you know, holding out for a hero, bad guy, like more hero themed, which I thought the music was good, like no real beef there. I just feel like, especially coming off of Jess's class, I just liked the vibes of Jess's better. And the walk run was also fine, like pretty basic. I would say we spent pretty close to 50% walking, 50% running, which like no complaints. I definitely needed the walking recovery. We did a little bit of incline work, just 1% and 2%, which is nothing crazy, but I do like just having, you know, a little bit of incline during the class. Why not? And yeah, a lot of it was just kind of like, you know, 1 to 3 minute run pushes and then 1 to 2 minute recovery walking. And yeah, I feel like I don't take a lot of walk and run classes, but this one felt good to me. Like it didn't feel super special, but it was also like not enjoyable. Like we got in, we got the work done. I'm very happy it was a walk and run and not just a run. And I do like John. So overall it was a good class, but not a great one. Enjoyability, I'd give a solid like 7 out of 10. I honestly might have enjoyed it a little more if I wasn't dying in my glutes from the Logan class, but yeah, it was enjoyable. Difficulty, I would give like a 5 out of 10. It really depends on how much you push yourself. He gives very wide ranges. Like basically a walk is below 4 and a run is above 4. So it's really like, you know, your destiny, whatever you want to make out of it. If you want to push yourself really hard or not, you can. I definitely erred on the lower side of runs for me just because I was tired, but that kind of is the beauty of this class, that you can like make it how difficult you want it very easily. So that is it for all of the Halloween classes I'll be taking this year. Unless if you think I skipped one that is a must take, definitely let me know. I feel like the ones I've seen talked about online the most is Logan's, Andy and Rebecca's. And I've also seen a lot of Matty Majacomo for his walk. I just feel like a 30-minute walk is a lot for me on the treadmill. I do think that I would get a little bit bored, but maybe I could do it outside. Let me know if you've taken it, what you think. That is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you had an awesome Halloween, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!